Hi and welcome back to Darvanalee Designs Studio. For those that don't know, my name's Nicole Reid and today we are here for my weekly Stitch With Me. We are working on Peppermint Parlour by Country Cottage Needleworks and it's part of the Snow Village series, so let's get started. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and clicking on this video and spending it with me while I do some stitching. So hopefully you've got a cuppa, you've got a craft of your choice, and let's get some stitches in or some crafting done. As you can see, I'm working on Snow Village yet again. It's pretty much going to be this way until it's done or I get bored with it. But anyway, I've got a couple other Christmas ones as well that I'm working on at the moment, so Farmhouse Christmas, and also that one that I showed in my FlossTube the other week where I had made a mistake and I decided that I was just going to push through and do the borders and get it all done, so I'm still working on that as well. But today we're here to work on Snow Village, which is Peppermint Parlour is the one that we're working on. As you can see, I've actually done some more while I wasn't on camera, and yeah, so basically I got the door finished, so all I've got to do is put the handle on that, and now I'm down here to do the snow, and I'm going to also be doing the candy cane. I think there is a couple of candy canes, and there's some little bits and pieces like this down here, and I've still got the chimney to do. So I'm going to finish doing the snow because I've got the white threaded up, but I'm probably going to do the chimney too before we get off camera today. Alright, just grab my glasses and get them ready to put them on so I can see what I'm doing. Just trying to get back into my chair. Right, I'm in. Got my glasses. Can take the other ones off. Let's get some stitches in. So I'm up to the easy part now. We're just up to the snow down the bottom, but there are a couple of little bits and pieces, as I said, down the bottom that I've got to be aware of, that I need to make sure that I don't go too far. Now you can't see that, which is good, and I'm just going to do where I've got to mark out for the tree, and I've got to put 14 stitches in here, and I'm using the waist knot method, so you can see there that I've got my thread in. So what that means is now I am already burying my thread and I don't have to flip my chart over. I do have a video that's coming out, taking it'll be out either next week or the week after. I've just got to finish doing some filming and some editing for that, and that's going up for Sue asked the question how I finish like what I do with my threads and stuff. So I thought, well, that's a perfect opportunity to do a little tutorial. And come on, lock, there we go. That should now not try to autofocus, sorry about that. I forgot to lock the screen. So if I lock my screen so I can move my hand in and out, and it's just gonna not change focus. So hopefully that's a little bit better for you. Won't be playing havoc with your eyes. Yeah, so I'm doing that video at the moment, so that will go up. And she also asked me to about how I hold all my fabric in, and so I'll do a bit of a close-up of what I do with my fabric and the different things that you can use. That'll probably be a separate video because I've got to get all my bits and pieces out, and I packed everything away because I wasn't stitching. So all right, let me just count stitches. Oh, there goes my chart. That's not going to help me way over there. Now I will just check because my battery was a little bit low, so I'm just going to check that this is on and charging. Yep, it's charging. Good-o. It's good. If I don't charge it, one more. Yeah, I thought I'd counted it, and that's where I put my waist knot. All right, I'm just going to get rid of that knot. So that's all. That thread's now buried. And yeah, so I can just continue on and not have to worry about burying that now, flipping it over. So yeah, and I can come back, just get my chart because it fell. Alright, this is where I'm going to have to be tricky and count as I'm going. Alright, let me just fold this in half again. So I might just reach back and grab myself another magnet because this is probably not going to, I don't want it to be seen on camera, and I don't think you can, so that's good. Alright, let me just, just went through when I shouldn't have. Alright, let me just put that there. It's all in how you sit everything so you can see it without it getting on camera. That's the tricky part. Alright, I need a magnet. Let me just see what I've got up here. Okay, this will go here. Alright. Bear with me for a second. Alright. This should hold it in place so I can see it. You can't see it. That's good. And I'll be able to, without having to look around the camera, be able to see what the heck I'm doing. I'm not going to get in the way of the threads. Alright, I think I'm right to go now. Alright, let me just... This is going to be a little bit tricky because I'm going to have to count and sort of talk at the same time. Alright, so I think we're in the swing of things now. What have I been up to? Let me think. What have I been up to? Well, it's actually a public holiday today. So I'm just cruising at home, and then I realised that I had to do my stitch with me because I completely forgot about that bit. And yeah, so I thought, well, I better get in there and get that done. So that's where I am here now, getting it done. And yeah, so what have I done over the last week since the last time I spoke to you? Well, we've had lots of videos go up on the channel, as you would have seen. We've had our new series start, the Slow Stitching Saturday. That has started. So if you haven't seen that, it'll be the video before this one. And I'll cut it up on the end of this one anyway. And we are working on Borrow Table Runner at the moment, which is a form of Japanese mending. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'm actually just working on a piece and I'm just going to work on it until it's finished. So we did the fabric layout and on Saturday, so you can see me playing around with the fabrics. I used some Japanese linens. And I just did it on a base of calico. And what else did we do last week? Oh, I had another floss tube. So look at me go. 2 weeks in a row. Can you believe it? It's been a while. And we had a tutorial. We had the fabric basket tutorial. This week we've got... what do we have going up this week? We have... I've got the next installment in the row by row is just getting finalised. So I've got a few things to still do with that. So I'm not sure whether that's going to be ready. It'll be ready by the end of the week. I don't know if it's going to go up on Wednesday or Thursday like my plan is, but it may be the end of the week because I'm just fiddling around with some stuff. And I've still got some more editing to do for the block itself. So just bear with me. It will be in the group. You will be able to see that. So if you, where's my pencil? There it is. If you have yet to join our group and it's your first time here, we have a Facebook group and we actually have a row by row quilt along happening at the moment. And you can only find the patterns in the Facebook group. So if that's something that you're interested in, you will have to join the Facebook group. You will find those up in the file section. And there is also a stitch along happening as well, a row by row stitch along. So that is totally free until the end of September. Once we reach the end of September, I will do a notice closer to the end saying to everybody, it is now time for you to download all of your files if you haven't already done so, because once it is finished, it is gone from the group, so it won't be there for you to go back to. So if you are watching this video after September 30th 2022, you will only be able to purchase the row by row through my Etsy store or website. Okay, and the links for all of that stuff is down underneath this video. So that's September 30th, 2022. It will be available for sale over on those platforms. And as I said, all the links to my channel, to my stores are listed down below. All right, so we've got that business out of the way now. What else has been happening? Well, this week you can look forward to some diamond painting, and we've got some more crafting with DDs. I'm going to be doing some more hexagons. I've actually got a couple of other things that I've got planned for that series as well. And we'll have part 2 of our slow stitching Saturday, so that'll be exciting. We'll be doing some stitching then. And thank you so much to everybody for your wonderful comments and telling me that you're going to be looking forward to seeing it. I'm super excited that you're excited as well. And yeah, I'm super excited too, because I've been wanting to do it for do this table runner for so long, and I just thought, you know what, the only way I'm going to get this done is if I turn it into a series, because then I have to work on it. I can't procrastinate on it. I'm only going to be with you for about 30 minutes today, because maybe a little bit longer, not much longer, because we're going to head out for the day. I just lost my needle. Where did that go? It just hit the magnet, I think. Yep, there we go. We're going to head out for the day and just go and do some stuff and together. Although we're not with Nerali, and it's Nerali's birthday today. So she turns 16. I cannot believe it. And she's she was going for her L's over the weekend. So here what they do, they've got to do a Prep L course. So they do this course which goes for about 6 hours, a lot of videos and stuff like that. And they've got to answer questions and all that sort of stuff before they can do their learner's permit test. And then she done all that, and then she sat for the test and got one of the questions wrong in the section that she can't get anything wrong. So she has to wait for 24 hours to do that again. And then Sunday she was busy with her friend's mum picking up a puppy for her friend, who we're going to be looking after for a few days before she picks her up, or we're dropping her off. Savannah and Nerali are. So yeah, we're puppy sitting for a few days. I'm not sure I'm looking forward to it, but anyway. So the puppy was supposed to come here yesterday. They picked it up yesterday, but then her friend's mum took her home to look after her for the night, and then she's at work, so she'll drop her off here tomorrow. She'll drop her off here this afternoon, she said. It was going to be Tuesday, but she said she changed it to this afternoon. So we're going to go out and do some stuff while Nerali is busily at work on her birthday. She's doing adulting today. So, yeah, we're just going to go and get like cake and stuff like that for her, so we can. She doesn't want a party or anything. She was quite adamant that she didn't want a party. So, and we all know how moody Nerali can get. So we're not having a party. No doubt she'll hold us. She'll have to go to therapy over it. Oh no, that's just mean, isn't it? Really. 3, 6. So I just have to count here because I've got all the little bits and pieces that have got to go in here, and so I'm just making sure that I'm getting it right and missing the right ones. And no doubt we all know how well I can count. So there's not much to go with this. I'm hoping to get some more stitches into this week. So next week we can start on a different block of it, and I can I've got to go down to Bunnings and because I've run out of pipe, so I've got to go down and get some piping and some clamps, and I'm going to move this into one of my the Q snaps that I make with the piping from down at the poly, what is it called? The PVC pipe is the words I'm trying to say. Words today, people, words. So the PVC pipe that I get, and I get some clamps, so you find it all in the plumbing section, and there's a video. So I will leave a link in the cards for the video on how to make your own Q-snap. So yeah, I had this in a hoop, and because I was only working on these ones, I thought, oh, I'll move it, but it's going to be in a hoop for a little while, and I don't want my stitches getting wrecked, so I thought I better get down there. I ran out of some PVC pipe. I've still got some clamps in that, but I've run out of PVC pipe, so I'll go down and get some of that, and then I'll make a frame for it, and you'll still be able to see it because I've got bars that come off this particular frame. So at the moment, I'm just going to move the camera, so just be warned. So at the moment it's in this frame here. There's my light, so it's clamped into here. I've actually got two bars that sit, there's a thing that sits over this, and the bar, it's got like extension bars on it, and so it'll sit there really nicely in my frame. All right, there we go. Is that back where it was supposed to be? I think so. If not, it's moved. All right, now just, yep, I just did that one, and now I'm on to the next one, this one. What we got? All right, yeah, so I'll go down and get that, and then yeah, it's looking a bit crooked. Let me just fix that a bit. There we go. There we are. Not so lopsided now. Probably still is lopsided. It's just my view. Sorry. But yeah, so I'll go down and get some of that, make up a frame for it, and have that sorted, and then it'll be a lot easier because I'll be able to work on 2 rows without having to move it. I might even be able to get it big enough so I can work on the whole thing. We'll just have to wait and see. I'll pull it out of the hoop this afternoon and measure it all up, and before we head out, and yeah, go and grab that because Bunnings is always open. All right, what have we got? Yep. And then I should miss one. Sorry, I've just got to get this right. And I'm thinking, oh God, I'm out one, but I was looking at the wrong row. Oh, look at that. I can count today, people. Oh, can you believe it? Let's hear a round of applause. Yay! Yeah. It's early. It's early yet. We may still make a mistake. All right, so I've done that row. Now, I'm going to come down to here because I know that that's where it's going to match up, and I'm just going to put in a stitch there. There's a method to my madness, just, yeah, bear with me for a second. So that's under the house, and then I've got to come across another 2. All right. So as you know, I'm doing this in one piece. So according to the website, there is only 1 gap, so 1 stitch between each one, and that makes it just flow on. So I just wanted to get that right. So I make sure that I've counted right, which is good. But the good thing is I can just now zip across because this goes all the way across. And then I can, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do after that. Just keep going. So hopefully by next week you know what? I'm going to make a commitment to you here, right now. You're going to have to hold it to me. You're going to have to send me a message and go, hey, are you stitching on that? We want to see a different block. So you can come back periodically to YouTube, or you can come over to the group and go, oi, are you working on that? Have you put any stitches into it? And another reason that I want to get it onto the Q-snap is so I can do it, I can stitch on it at night. I can, if it's on that, because my other frame doesn't have that clamp that I showed you, so I can't use the hoops on that frame that's in my room. So if I've got this on a Q-snap, then I can actually stitch on it and it's not going to be an issue. I'm still trying to find my groove with the floor frame, and I got a floor frame from this one that I'm working on today, that's here, right, that I'm doing now. This frame here came from Dubko, and you can see I done a little video on that. Just look for cross stitch frame, so go up into the search bar on the home page and put in cross stitch frame and it'll come up, because I can't remember the heading, but I know it's got frame in it. Yeah, so just go and have a look and see if you can find that. And I think it's got the word Dubko in the title, so if you put Dubko, it should come up, and that's D-U-B-K-O, Dubko-Factory it's called. And so that came from Russia. I got it a couple of years ago, but my floor frame I got from here in Australia from Gus's Frames, and you can find them on Facebook. I think it's Gus's Frames, I think it's called, or Custom Frames maybe. It's been a while since I've been over there. I got that this time last year for my birthday. So for those that don't know, August is my birthday month. Neroli and I, we celebrate a storm in, you know, we do it's all about us in August. And yeah, so she's turned 16 and I'm turning 52. So it's an exciting time in the house. And Savannah's taking me out for lunch. She's already, she bought me a pair of earrings. They are glass blown earrings from the newsagent. They're in the bedroom. I didn't bring them with me. But you'll start to see them pop up on my ears during the month, no doubt. And yeah, so Neroli doesn't want to have a birthday, which is, you know, I don't know what it is about my kids. None of them have ever wanted to have birthdays. And I don't push it because, like with Savannah, she's always been socially awkward. She doesn't like being the centre of attention and stuff like that. Neroli's complete opposite, but she's like, no, don't want a party. I'm like, okay. Are you sure? No, don't want one. So, yeah. I don't know. I'll make her a favourite meal or get her some Indian food for dinner tonight. And, she's got a long shift at work, so it's an 8-hour shift she's got. And because it's a public holiday, it's like double time or time and a half or something she gets. So, nice little earning day. I'm not looking forward to the puppy coming here this afternoon. That's another reason why we're going out to do some stuff, because we'll be housebound for the next week. I just hope it doesn't rain in the next week or so, because of heavy rain, because I don't need more flooding, because that means that'll mean that we won't be able to go up and drop this dog off. And we've got to keep the cats away from it as well, because we've got attack cats. We have like big dogs come into the yard. The neighbours have got big dogs, and they come into the yard, and every now and again you will hear rah, 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 rah. The cats are chasing the dogs out of the yard. So yeah, we've got attack cats. And Snowy's no longer with us. We actually got him. We had to put him down to sleep because he was just so old, and he was going a little bit of senile, and he just wasn't happy anymore. And so we made the decision to put him down. That was a couple of months ago. I haven't really spoken about it because it's not really nice to talk about, but yeah, he was the grumpy cat. He was the quintessential ghost grumpy cat. Like, he was an outside cat. So let me tell you a little bit about Snowy. And if I can find a picture, I'll insert it in. I don't think I've got any on my phone, so I think we've only got like physical copies. But Snowy was such a wonderful cat. He was an outdoors cat. He had anxiety. He wouldn't come in. When we first moved here, he got attacked by the big cats around, big Tommy cats that were here, because the house was quite vacant for a while, and there was a couple of feral cats living up the back, and yeah, they attacked him and they disjointed his tail. So he had a short tail because he had to have that removed. And yeah, and from that he never liked to come inside because he was a farm cat. So he was what we call a working cat. So he kept the vermin down out of the, feed shed and all that sort of stuff. That was his job. And then we moved into town. He still came with us, but he didn't like coming inside because he had never been inside. Like, he'd slept in a shed and he slept in, an old car and stuff like that, but he never actually came inside very often. Like, if there was a storm or something, he'd come inside, but he'd sit near the door and just want to be out. And he really liked being outside. And he wouldn't come into and if he did come into the house, he'd get really antsy and like lash out at you and meow like he was in pain or something like that, because he was like having an anxiety attack. And so we didn't have, he'd come in like, he'd come in with the storms. We'd, get him to come in and whatnot. But as he was getting older, he was starting to go a little bit senile. And oh my God. The cat was insane. Like, you'd pat him, and then if you'd stop patting him, he'd slash up. He had the girls scared. Like, they wouldn't even go near him as he was getting older. But because he was an outdoor cat, we done a Google search and we asked the vet if that was true or not. And because he was an outdoors cat, like all the time outdoors cat, his life expectancy should have only been no more than 4 years. He was 12 years old when we put him down, and he had he would sunbake all the time, and it wouldn't matter how much, like, we put sunscreen on him and all sorts of stuff, and he would just bake himself. He was a white cat, and he would absolutely bake himself. And so it got to the point where his ears he was scratching him because he had cooked himself, and because his little white ears didn't have much on there, and so he had got he was starting to, like, it was a cancer on his ears, and so because he was so old, we sort of just brought him home and just left it at that sort of thing. And then we eventually, came to terms with the fact that he was going to have to be put down. Like, originally it was just like, when dogs or cats sunbake and their ears go a bit crusty because they've scratched them or whatever. It was getting that bad that he was scratching his ear, and he kept reopening the little blisters, or he got blisters and then he had scabs on it. And and so basically he was a mess. And so we decided that it was better that we get him euthanized than try and it wouldn't have been successful anyway. And because he was so old, in the scheme of things, when we talked to the vet and whatnot, they said it would be better for him to be euthanized. So that's what we ended up doing. So we brought him home, and he was here for about another 6 weeks after that, because then he wouldn't let us catch him to put him into the carrier. And so that was interesting. I finally got him. Like he'd come in for food and that, but as soon as you go to grab him, he was like onto you. He knew what you were up to, and he was like, "Nah, I'm out of here," and took off. And he slept in the car at the back, so I'd go up with food and try and coax him. And it was like he knew. And I'm like, I'll eventually catch him. So in the end, I caught him. He was having a pretty slow day, and we he was euthanized, and so now he's in a better place. He's in less pain. He as I said, he was going senile, and even he'd never slashed at me, ever slashed at me. He'd tap my boot, but he wouldn't bring his claws out. And even Brendan, he wouldn't do the same to Brendan. And he was getting to the point where he was actually going us. And then he was never a hisser. He never hissed at any of us. Then he was starting to hiss, and so we knew that it was time. It was like, as much as, so he's been a permanent fixture at this house the whole time we've lived here. He's been a part of Neralee's life since she was a little girl. And so, it was more for her to make friends with it as well. Like, she needed to make friends with the fact that it was he was going to be euthanized, and because she had gone through that trauma with Mia and stuff like that, we didn't want to just do it while she wasn't here. We wanted, you know, because Snowy was originally her cat, ended up being my cat. I don't know how that works, but that's how it ended up going. I'm just counting, sorry. Yep, that's right. And I've got 2 more down here. Probably shouldn't put my pencil in my mouth and then try and talk, because that's not going to work, is it? It's Monday. Can you tell? So yeah, so he's in a better place now. But it seems that Arlo, our black cat, has taken up the challenge to chase the dogs out of the yard. So, and she gets quite cranky. So we're a little bit concerned about the puppy being here. So we're just going to have to be extra vigilant when it comes to having the puppy outside, that Arlo doesn't take it upon herself to try and rip its throat out or chase it out of the yard. But it's adorable. I will get some pictures while it's here so you can see it next week, because it's only here. Gets here this afternoon, and so I think it's either going up on Saturday or Sunday. So it'll be here for a week, and it still may go and back over to her mum's place. It's just her mum works, so that's why we're going to. I know I'm home all the time, so that was another reason why we were sort of all working together. And Chevy lives quite a number of hours away, and the dog was from down here, so that's how we've ended up at our place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to go back along here, because this will give me the bottom ends of these. Alright, so I've got to miss one there. Go in here. And then somewhere over here. Alright, let me just count. I'll be back in a second. Alright. That was a bit of a mission. So what I do, and I know that you're not supposed to see the charts, but it's pretty hard to tell what I'm doing, and like realistically you could pretty much just follow along anyway. So this is the bottom of the chart where I'm working at the moment. So what I've done is I've counted this whole row, and you can see I've got these little numbers down here. So instead of me having to count all the time, because I've had that question asked, how do I talk and count at the same time? So normally before I get on camera, but I didn't do it today because I wasn't going to film today, and then I thought I better film anyway. So normally what I do is, you can see I've counted this between this point and this point, and it's 19. And then over here I've got on the edge, so we've done this end, and then when we get to here I've got the numbers there, so I know as I go up those rows how many stitches I've got to put in, and then that way I can talk, and I've just got to visualize, and I can see what I'm stitching. And yeah, so the longer ones, once I get along a little bit, and I know that where I've got to, when I get closer to here, and I keep an eye out, if I have a look, when I get to this point here, I'll find a point, and then I'll know that I'm getting close to it, so I'll stop, and then I'll count my stitches. So that's what I do. All right, so now I've done that one, missed one, and now I'm going to do this. Yeah, and that's how I can talk and stitch at the same time and not sort of lose my way, because I've got all these numbers written down. And not only that, it's if I'm doing any challenges where I've got to count my stitches and stuff like that, I can basically tally them all up, because I just put a little line through them, and I'll use, if I'm doing it for multiple challenges, I'll use different color pens so I know what I used on that particular day, and then I can tally it up at the end. And that's how I get my stitches in so quick while doing my Stitch with Me's. And let's face it, if I hadn't have done these Stitch with, because I haven't put anything in only what I've done on the Stitch with Me's, I think I had the border in and whatnot when I come on, but I did the door. That's the first time I've worked outside of the Stitch with Me for this particular chart. But as I said, I'm going to get it in at spray, and I'm going to get more stitches into it, because I'll be able to use it in the bedroom. So yeah, we'll start to move along and make some progress on this a little bit more, and especially now that I'm doing FlossTube again, because I'd had such a long break. I didn't realize how much I actually love stitching until you have a break, and yeah, I do. I really enjoy it. So but I can see little faces at the door at the moment, so they're ready to wanting to go and do something. So they're just a slight little tick 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 at the door, so they're telling me that they're ready to go. So I'm going to have to wrap it up for today. I'm just going to finish this little bit because I'm about to change threads anyway, but I just thought I'd pop in, let you know what was happening with this chart, and all the other stuff that's happening on the channel. Have a little bit of a chat with you. All right, well, that's it from me today. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me. If you've made it this far, make sure you leave a little sewing needle emoji in the comments and tell me what you were working on and what we're talking about making it this far. If you're new here or a returning viewer, make sure you hit that subscribe button and a little bell icon beside it if you haven't already done so. Give me a thumbs up down below. Maybe share me across the social medias so I can get seen a little bit more. And yeah, that's it from me today. Happy stitching, everybody, and I'll see you all again next